You don't need to go around selling everyone.
Yeah.
I think you need to go around seeking and understand and seeing but if there is a potential transaction, then you should absolutely take advantage of a transaction.
Right. Yeah.
Because it will benefit that person and it'll benefit yourself and you'll build a deeper relationship with them. That's the true thing. Otherwise, it's just it's a great friendship and it's a great perspective.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining me, Sean.
Of course.
This is awesome, man.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this before, but you own Tax Hive, you have a mastermind group, Jeep enthusiast. I was going to ask you, coolest Jeep that you have or that you've ever seen? You have a favorite Jeep?
I do have a favorite Jeep. I'm more of a Sprinter van, and I feel like they're kind of related.
That's true. Yes.
I mean, because you can customize Jeeps like crazy. So I have a lot of friends that are Jeep guys, and I get inspiration from Jeeps to build my van. So I have a Sprinter van it's called the Zombie Apocalypse. I have skulls in it, maybe 30 weapons. I haven't gotten pulled over yet. And I'm waiting for that one.
That's going to be
hey,
gnarly.
sir, do you have any weapons in the vehicle? Yeah, because I have crossbows in it. I have nunchucks. I have throwing stars. It's really ridiculous, actually.
How did you get into that?
That was like my COVID project. Okay. So a lot of time at home, and Molly panels are the panels that military use. So you don't have stuff in duffel bags, so they can grab all their gear and leave. Right. So I put in one Molly panel and I stacked it with night vision and stuff. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So I put another one in, and I ended up putting like everything covered in Molly panels and just kept it. And then I didn't realize it was like, you're down in the weeds, and then you get up and you're like, oh my gosh, I just created a Dooms Prepper van. It's like this zombie. Yeah.
But you can do whatever you need. You know what's interesting? I worked in the car business for a long time, and Jeeps everybody's like off-roading Jeep. But like, then you get into like cars a little bit and you realize, like, I sold Benz for a little bit, and the number one complaint of the G-Wagon was it rode really rough. Yeah. And I'm like, it's an off-road vehicle. It's not a mall crawler. Like, this was actually built for that big. It competed with the Land Cruiser in that race they do in the Middle East or whatever. Yeah. And they were like, I didn't know that. And I'm like, you spent $250
they're amazing off-road machines.
Yeah, they're incredible. And I go, well, you just spent $200,000 on you bought a nice, you can take this anywhere.
What's the best Jeep you've seen?
I had an old 1994 Wrangler that we had like decked out with marine speakers. We had put like a 4-inch lift kit. We had big, huge tires. And that was actually the car I drove around in high school. And it was a manual. It had a winch on the front. It had like, we could take it out in the rain. I lived in Iowa, so we would go like mudding with it, and we could do anything to that car. And we could still listen to music. Yep. I mean, everything. We could listen to music. Everything was bolted down and independent. Yeah, it was that. So that one was my favorite. But my uncle just bought a Jeep that has like the Hemi engine in it or something like that. It's just like, I was like, whoa. Yeah,
I have a good buddy in Arizona. His name is Aaron. He's got a great beard, just an incredible beard, but he's got he's got a big chainsaw on the back of his. So he's got a true crawler. Wow. And so he's got a big chainsaw for when he comes across a down tree that he can cut out of the trail.
That's insane. Yeah. Like, what the freak are you
Or
doing?
It could also work for anything, when it goes down, when things go down. Yeah. You got a chainsaw just in case.
Chainsaw on the back, dude.
Right.
That's insane. Okay. I love that. Well, we'll probably talk more about that. But then, and then obviously you love sweets.
I do, of course.
Who doesn't? Yeah. I saw the freeze-dried ice cream, or what did you just post on TikTok?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was a unicorn taco.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So basically, it is like the most nutritious taco probably on the planet.
Okay.
It's made with cotton candy as the base. Yes. And then they fill it with, M&Ms and everything you can possibly think of. And then they put ice cream in it. It's literally unicorn ice cream. It's this magical ice cream they put in the middle. And then they put sauces on top and they roll it up together. Yeah.
Dude, that's incredible. Yeah. Do you have a favorite, favorite sweet spots that you go to?
Of
anywhere?
Course.
Yeah. What's your top two?
There's actually a Latino one right here in Pleasant Grove, and they do incredible stuff. Like we're talking nutty concoctions.
Plug them. What's the name?
I gotta. We'll put it in the link.
We'll put it. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Fruitia Land or something.
Okay.
Like
okay. All right.
Yeah. So we'll plug it in. We'll plug it in the link for sure because it's one of our favorite spots.
All right,
but I love going to TikTok and finding the coolest spots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can find incredible treats everywhere you go. My daughter and I love boba, so we've searched out the very best boba. And there's one in Salt Lake that hand make the bobas. And that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I love going to TikTok because you get all the great stuff.
Yeah.
And the reviews and everything else.
Well, and what's cool, TikTok is like Gen Z's Google.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, they just like Google,
really
they just TikTok everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if Google kind of loses it a little bit and you go like, oh, well, we'll just TikTok it. I did that when I was I've been to the Oregon coast so many times in my life, but we were in this new town and I was like, wow, what should we eat? And my wife just whipped out TikTok and I'm like, dude, this is a town on the coast. There's like 500 people in it.
Right.
Like, there's no way this is on TikTok.
Yeah.
And we found like 6 videos of like restaurants to eat.
Right.
I was like, this
amazing.
This is insane.
I think you're absolutely right. Think about how much people learn at that generation on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. When we went to the consumer summit with Brandless and those guys. And that's what they were saying. They were like, you have to have this multi-thread approach to business because I even saw, so I do sales training and I started putting sales training stuff on TikTok and it's amazing how many people just you DM or comment and they're like, you know, can you, do you have a course? Can you come do this for our company? And it's like, who would have ever like, more older people too, because you're like, all right, well, Gen Z. But then when I look at my analytics on TikTok, it's like 25 to 36. Yeah. I'm like, holy crap.
Well, I've watched your sales training on TikTok and everything else. It's so good. So I think salespeople get a bad rap.
Yeah.
But they are the lifeblood of business. Right. And a good salesperson is by far your best customer service person. So if you keep that in mind and watch what you talk about, there's nothing pushy to it. Right. I mean, it is like literally just seeking to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Sales is just one of those things that I think people like. And here's the crazy thing. I learned in sales. I learned from car salesmen. Yeah. And if you wanted to be really good, then you had to be different than these old school car guys. Yeah. But I had all of them. Like we had all of them. And just like, how can we help you? What's the problem? If you're going to qualify somebody, then you can't be afraid to disqualify somebody and say, hey, look, I don't think I'm probably not right for you right now. Yeah. Right. Like my sales training, I know where my limits are. Like I don't train Oracle $300,000 OTEs, AEs. Right. That's a different guy. Yeah. Right? That's a different, but if you're an SDR or a new AE, I can help you out or your car or whatever. Right. Yeah. But, so that's part of it. Really, really good. Everybody goes, oh, this doesn't work in a $300,000 sale. I go, it might, but I'm not. I already told you that I'm not. I don't do like. Yeah, I'm not that guy.
I think the worst kind of sale is someone who just kind of throws up. Right? It's like I can't wait till they get this objection, and then I'm just going to throw up because I got a great way to overcome it. And at the end of the day, you've got to listen to people, right? Yeah. You have to seek to understand and then to be understood. Right. Right. Like the Stephen R. Covey.
Yes, and that's the coolest thing because when you get into business, you realize how. I mean, I think a lot of business owners, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of business owners, I felt like, they underestimate how much it takes to get a lead and how much it takes to close. But then when you understand people and you just go back to that, that's why I think so many business owners do so good in sales without any formal training. Yeah. Because it's just like, oh, this is my buddy. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
You want to take the best care of your customer, get great salespeople. Yeah. Because if they don't take great care of their customer, they're not going to get sales. I mean, it is required that you listen better than anyone does in the business. Yeah. You have to be persuasive. You have to help lead. Yeah. And you have to do it in a way like you trained, which is like no one's leaving your training and going, okay, I need to go browbeat or go push it down. Right. Right. Yeah. So I think it's the power of asking really intelligent questions.
And because when you do that, it's just rapport. Like people feel when they feel seen and heard. I learned that from when I was a crisis counselor. When you can just move mountains when people just, have you ever seen that video? It's not about the nail. Yeah. That's it. That's great. That's the best sales training video. That's what really I show. That's what I show when I go, all right, I'm going to kick off sales training. This is what I'm going to show you. Boom. Yeah. It's like, this is life advice. It's relationship advice. It's business advice. Yeah. So true. It's like one of the best ones, but tell me how you got started in business. I know that you're Tax Hive, you have your mastermind, but these aren't number ones for you, that you've been doing this for a long time. what gave you the itch? What helped you get going?
It actually all started with sales for me.
Oh,
so
cool.
I started, I mean, I was in single digits age. So I was raised by a dad who was a bookstore manager for 40 years and he had 5 kids.
Oh, wow.
Probably made 40, 50 grand a year for 40 years.
Okay.
So I have this dad who's he was like the most even kill. Imagine a bookstore manager, right? That was my dad.
Okay.
And then I had my mom who was trying to raise 5 kids and she was the original side hustle person. So she sold everything. She was great at sales and she was the hustler. So she started a preschool, did every little side hustle you can. And we were part of her marketing team. We'd walk down the streets and hand out flyers, everything else. And for me, if I wanted allowance, I wasn't going to go to my parents and get allowance. So I had to actually go learn it on the streets. And so I would try to find things to sell. I highly recommend it. Anyone watching this as a young person, go sell something. Yeah. Your neighbors are going to say yes.
That's so funny because I do every time I get knocks on my door in the neighborhood. The kid's like has a rake. Yeah. And I don't have any leaves on my ground. So can I do something to earn $5? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, here's $5. Figure it out.
I try to find, I did candy bars. I remember I had these camouflage pencils. I got them for like 10 cents each. And I went around and sold them for 25 cents. But I sold so much stuff that I didn't have to give a sales presentation. It was like, knock at the door, a neighbor come out, and I'm holding like camouflage pencils. I'm like, you want some pencils? They're 25 cents each. And it's like, I just earned the revenue from doing that. I bought a bunch of candy and I went to school on the playground, and at school I'm selling it. I bought them for a nickel and I was selling them for a dime or 25 cents. Yeah. But I think it's a great way, like early on, to gain sales skills. Yeah. Critical.
Yeah. Because when you get into business, like that's what carries you, right? Like, I think another thing this is why I love small businesses and I love to help small business owners, even though it's not an incredibly lucrative niche, right? Right. But I love it because like, they forget these, like you get in your business and you forgot that you sold candy bars and how easy it was to just be like, right, this is it. Right. Yeah. Like, because business owners, they just overcomplicate it. Like when they first get in there, you're just like, oh, we're just dial it back. Remember, like, we used to do this on the playground. Yeah, yeah. We're just back here, right?
For sure. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. What was besides that, we'll keep going with your, keep going with that.
No, that's it. So that was kind of how I got that early seed to say, I don't want to know how much I'm going to make down to the penny every week. I'm willing to risk it, which is like, it's a scary thing as an entrepreneur when you start out there and you venture out on your own and you don't have the security. It's a real scary thing to say, hey, I'm going to leave like benefits, salary behind, and I'm going to go out to the void like Elon Musk says, right? Yeah. You jump out there and it's a scary thing and you hope and pray it works. Right?
Yeah. And better to do it when you're younger than when you're older. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that was the sentiment for a long time. I feel like we've stepped into an age where now the void is anything. Like taking a W-2 9-to-5 is a void. Because I don't know, in my experience, because we're talking about sales are like, the lifeblood, but in my experience, like as soon as the salesperson doesn't make sense, that you're out. Yeah. Which is like, by the way, we're a results guy. Right. So if you're not cutting it, you should be out. Yeah. But so why not then? Yeah. I'll just do my own thing. Sure. Because if results matter, I can get them for myself. Like I remember one time I was selling this, not my current company that I work with, but a while ago, I was like, digital marketing. I just sold this company like 15 grand in a week. I was like, why can't I do that? Why can't 15 grand be mine? Right. It's like, I can do it. Yeah. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, let's try it, man.
Yeah. You gained very valuable skills. So you know how to do something like that. And it gives you confidence when you do go out on your own. Yeah. Because it's not like you're starting over when you go out on your own. You're taking all that information, all the experience, all the people you've worked with. If you want to build a team, you know which ones are the best performers to go out and build. Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What do you look for? I mean, now that you have, because I know, right, not just tax side, what else do you have going on? You have your mastermind, but are you part of the tax, the estate planning?
Yeah. Estate planning, tax side. So, so there's a case in point. So Kevin O'Leary is my business partner in Tax Hive. And I've spent a lot of time with him. And like he gets pitched, he's a shark.
Mm-hmm.
So literally one time I was in the parking lot with him and he's like, hey, I got to go get my laptop fixed. And so we went into the mall, like a big mall. It was in Boston. So we get in and the second he steps into that mall, guess what? Everyone comes up to him, right?
I got an idea. I got a pitch.
I got a pitch for you. This guy must get pitched outside of the show 100 times a day. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So he's walking from one spot to the other to get his laptop fixed. And I counted maybe 20, 30 pitches. People come up. Hey, Kevin, I got this idea. I got this idea. I got this idea.
Yeah.
And the way I think the best approach is to actually find out what's going on in their mind, because they have their own ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way to sell someone like a Kevin or is sell someone with a big brand is ask the right questions like you train, right? Find out what their ecosystem is. And as they talk to you about what they have going, their vision for their brand, their future, you can then say, this is how we fit into your world. Not as in, hey, come buy my stuff. Come do this. Come do this. Because they're not going to leave their ecosystem to go to anyone else.
Right.
And most people don't understand that. They think they have to launch into this incredible pitch and they're going to win them over somehow. Yeah.
I read a story of Russell Brunson, he's the leads guy, does all that, right? So he posts this story on Facebook and I'm like, how could you get this far? So he posts the story of this guy who got through all of his gatekeepers, like got through every one of his gatekeepers. Russell was like, I don't know how we're sitting down in a meeting right now, but you got 15 minutes, like, let's go.
Right.
And the guy, and Russell's Mormon, and the guy pitches him a coffee brand.
Right.
and he's like, I don't like coffee. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the business. I don't drink coffee. Sorry, dude. I'm not the guy. Right. Could you imagine going through all of that work?
Yeah.
And then not even asking the question?
That's right. That's a great example.
You're like,
100%.
You didn't know him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You didn't even take a minute to find out what's really going on in their mind.
Yeah. And not that coffee's bad. And and Russell said that. He was like, dude, I don't. He's like, you probably had an amazing idea.
Right.
I'm not the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what the freak?
That's a great point. So the way we pitched Kevin is we started the business about 3.5, 4 years ago. We knew Kevin from a previous business. So he was a buddy of ours, but I sent him a text, said, hey, we want to get together. We want to present a business to you. Because we're going through COVID and it's like pivoting and figuring out, okay, what problems are going on for the small, but you like working small business owners. Yeah. They're getting fleeced in tax because they do nothing about it. And then they just think that's not an expense. They think it's like, oh, I just have to pay the piper. But there's 1,400 deductions they can take. And there's all this stuff that you can do for them. So we're like, hey, let's go solve that problem. And whose face should we put on our brand? How about face that's seeing millions of eyeballs a week on a show and syndication and everything else? I mean, that show's been around many years and he's seeing millions of people. So I sent him a text. I was like, hey, we want to come present to you and show you this business. And so he happened to be in Arizona. We flew down there. You know how he talks about on the show, got to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you're dead to me kind of thing.
Yes.
So I'm preparing every number you can think of. I know the bar charts and line graphs and everything you can think of because I'm not going to get called out on it. And it's also a lot's riding on this thing. Yeah. You have to get this deal because it's going to change the trajectory of your business. You feel the heat. So he's sitting at the end of the table. I got me and my partners on this one side, stand up, start just launching into this pitch. And he gives me the Simon Cowell like this, like maybe 3 minutes in, 4 minutes in. Yeah. And I'm thinking, this deal's dead.
Yeah, we're done.
Done.
Like, damn it.
And I still remember my heart going down into my gut. And I still remember looking at the three guys and they were just like, dude, took you 3 minutes to mess this pitch up, you know? And I'm like, man, this was like our perfect fit. I feel like maybe where did I take the wrong turn in my presentation? And he's like, I'm in. He was like, whatever it's going to take, let's do it. Because he knows he's been looking for an alignment. It was like what you talked about in the Russell Brunson. This was a perfect fit for him.
Yeah.
This was in his world. This was in his ecosystem.
Yeah, he's a big finance.
This is what he wanted to do. This is what he wanted to have as an option for business owners because he knows the problem. He knows it's a massive expense and they don't understand it. So the deal got done. And then, of course, has been an incredible relationship. He's been on every news channel, everything. And our whole trajectory changed in our business because of the relationship.
Yeah. And you guys are all 50 states from what I remember, right? Yeah. And I like what you said there, because when we talked, I think, we met at Tax Live before, but there are some business owners who just find like nobility in how much they can pay the IRS.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm going to have a big tax bill. And you're just like, you don't have to.
That's right. It's a crazy thing. So when you're W-2, you could take advantage of up to 10 deductions is all.
Okay.
And most of those like child deduction.
Mm-hmm.
So some take 2 or 3 of the 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go out into the void, no one sits them down, especially your 1099 kind of guys that you help and those business owners. No one gives them a crash course and says, hey, guess what? You can take up to 1,400 potential deductions. The whole code's written for business people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing thing.
Yes.
And so we look at their last year's taxes, says, no, it's no surprise to any of us, is they're paying way too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember talking to my uncle one time, and he was telling me like he had done some things and taken some money from retirement so that he could fund a business and all these things. And he goes, and I know that I read somewhere that I have to like, that I can pay it back in so many. And I remember stopping. I'm like, hey, did you get a letter for that? Like from the IRS that said you had to pay for it? Yeah. He's like, no, I just know that I do. And I'm like, because the IRS isn't going to give it back to you.
Right.
And and I don't know what you read, because anytime I've ever taken stuff or worked with people like that, you almost immediately get a letter. Like, here you go. This is income. Right. It's on your taxes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, you didn't get anything like that. He's like, nope. I'm like, then don't pay it. Yeah. Like they'll
100% right.
They'll ask you to pay it.
Yeah.
And when they do, we'll cross it.
That's what Kevin actually said recently. I had him on Brad Lee's show.
I've heard Brad Lee. Yeah.
So he interviewed Kevin, and Kevin talked about how IRS is actually your friend. No one at the IRS is saying, hey, pay more than your fair share. Right. So, and they want businesses to be successful because the revenue goes up. Yeah. So they also know that there's an incredible tax code written for business owners. So you just look at it as like, hey, how do I make sure I keep all that money in my business? And then I'll go hire some salespeople. Yeah. I'll go bring on better products. I'll go expand is the way you're really going to scale. Yeah. Right? I remember going through my accounting degree and we inevitably take tax classes, of course, but I mean, we, had it on the screen of one of our, like, you're not obligated to pay any more than you have to. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah. So like figure it out. Yeah. I mean, that's the lifeblood of our business. That's right. The big vast majority of companies are the companies you serve, these small business owners. Yeah. Scrapping. And that's why they're so cool, man. And I love it because, and that's what I said, it's not the most lucrative thing and whatever, but because people go like, oh, you could go train these big, and I'm like, but I wouldn't. Yeah, I have more fun doing this. Yeah. You see the ROI in my, like, because my ROI as a sales trainer is like, if I tell you something, you can immediately go use it. And when it works, that's money. Yeah. It's so true. That's it. That's all I need. I started my first major business in 2009. So started meeting in 2008. 2009 was a horrific year in our nation's history. Yeah. So I start this business and it's literally, we have no place to meet. So I'm there used to be a Hoagie Yogi, like a sandwich place. Okay. That was my office. And it was me and 3 dudes sitting in this booth, just staring awkwardly at each other, trying to come up with an idea. Yeah. And we had this idea of doing these big live events. And so, we're like, okay, let's build our plan. So we built a spreadsheet. According to the spreadsheet, we're going to be millionaires because we had this margin and no problems on the spreadsheet. You know what I'm saying? That's right. So we had an incredible spreadsheet. We had an incredible plan. And then I had really good kind of partners. And then we're like, let's go hire some people. So we hired some people. So literally I had all 3. Now I needed to go raise money. And that was a whole nother experience because I wanted to raise 1.5. So I had to sit down with individuals and I had to go try to convince them pre-revenue. My business plan is showing that this thing's going to crank. We're going to make a big impact. Give me a couple $100,000. Yeah. That was actually kind of the hardest sales lesson, was getting the no's. It's like, no. And I know why I messed up and why I didn't present it wasn't compelling enough offer. Yeah. But I ended up raising 1.5. So if you were getting a time machine, go back, I now had 1.5. I had an incredible business plan that showed me I was going to be a millionaire and I had great people. So I was like, I just conquered the world. I didn't have anything before I raised the 1.5. Yeah. And pre-revenue, I have 1.5. So I felt like I was king. I felt like I was ready to go hit it. Yeah. And then one of Kevin's quotes is, in business, poo-poo happens. So if you think about anything that could potentially happen, it happened to me. I mean, everything. Wow. sales guys weren't what they were supposed to be. My sales projections, this is going into a recession. So I was maybe 25% of what I thought I was going to sell. It's painful.
Yeah, damn.
Operations issues, marketing issues. I mean, just trying to figure out the model.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anyone who's planning and preparing a business, you better have the sludge factor. There's going to be problems.
Yeah.
You better have contingency. I really should have raised $3 million, but I thought 1.5 would do it. But so over a 12-month period, I lost all 1.5.
Whoa.
It wasn't me taking salaries. It was me literally trying to figure it out. And I lost 1.5 million. Gone. Down to 2,500 in the bank it was Thursday, on a Thursday. So 2,500 in the bank. The next day, payroll's due at 3,500. I'm $1,000 short. I don't have $1,000 to my name. I've at this point hawked everything. Hawked my house, hawked my cars. And the next day I've got to go tell someone I can't pay him. And it's straight up miserable. I mean, so there's a problem. There's a difference between problem and pain. My problem is I had a failing business, but my pain was many levels deep. So if you talk about sales training, just seek to understand a little bit deeper, find out their problem, but how does that problem affect their daily life?
Mm-hmm.
Like, help me understand how this problem that you're going through is affecting you. And you'll figure out that there's some pain involved in this problem. And for me, it was literally a fetal position pain. And it sucked so bad. I didn't sleep, of course. I just stared at my ceiling. The next day, it was like just embarrassing. I'm praying for a miracle of a deposit. There's no deposit. And I tell the bank not to do the payroll company, don't do automatic payroll. So I go to lunch and I'm sitting at lunch with my business partner at the time. And I'm like, what do we do? I'm like, do you have anything else? Do you have anything? Like, there's nothing. I mean, I don't have $1,000.
Yeah.
And this is like 2010. It's like $0. And like, there's so much failure and so much things. You're like, I had a plan. Showed me I was going to crush it. I was going to make an impact. I convinced all these investors that I was going to crank for them and give them a good return. And I convinced these employees they were going to provide for their family because of me. And I'm a failure, straight up failure. So I'm at lunch and I get a phone call from my controller, and the controller's like, hey, Sean, I found, it was like $3,000 of petty cash, something like that. What do you want me to do with it? She was digging through the safe and found $3,000. And I was like, why don't you hang on to that money? And I screeched my tires and I drove back to the office and I picked up the $3,000. I drove straight to the bank. I put the $3,000 in. It cleared automatically. Uh-huh. And then I was able to cut physical checks for each individual on the team. And then I still remember going to the office and presenting them with a check and saying, I don't want to go through the experience I've had in the last week ever again, and presenting them with a check, and just made it by $1,000 or whatever.
Yeah. Holy cow.
So I was like, okay, it's like I always ask, what's the bigger motivation? Is the pain or is it the successes?
Yeah.
And for me, it was like motivation was pain. And I was like, I'm going to go do something massive on Monday. Like that afternoon. That's why I love salespeople, is because I called some people that I knew in sales and I was like, hey, can you come sell for me? And they're like, yeah, I can help you out. And they're like, I'm already selling, but I can go help you like part-time. What do you need? I was like, can you start on Monday? He was like, I convinced 4 dudes to start on Monday. They had other gigs, but they helped me out. Like, I think they felt bad for me. So they're like, I'm going to help him out.
Oh, yeah, I've been there before.
Monday morning,
I
have 4 dudes show up. And on Wednesday, we got our first sell at $4,000, which meant I could make payroll that week. And I was like, literally, the heavens opened and $4,000 appeared to me. And that's why I think that sales guys, salespeople, they get a bad rap, but they really do impact a business.
Yeah.
So if you want to scale your business, a great straight commission salesperson, I'm like always looking at these small businesses like, you realize you can hire a straight commission, have Dalton train them up so they're an effective salesperson.
Yeah.
You can hire them and pay them on a commission of what they bring in.
Yeah.
It's incredible to me. I think that's magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the first thing. And the second thing is I said, I'm in the grind of everyday life and I don't know people. And I myself have had my own failures. So why don't I reach outside of that lane and I start building relationships? And that was in 2010. So 2010 till now is why you see all this interaction and these lunches I have with people and getting to know people. It's because that is what changed the trajectory for me more than anything. So we were able to go on a run, pay off those initial investors and go on this run only because of these relationships.
Yeah.
I partnered with awesome people that had great relationships, and that's what really did it for me.
Wow. That's incredible. And that just makes it, oh man, that's a wild story. Like you're like, as an interviewer, you're like trying to think of what to go next. And I'm like, damn, bro, that's insane. I couldn't imagine that. And then when you look at that and you go like sales, but what do you think made the difference? Like, I mean, I know you said they might've felt bad for you, but they must have seen, those sales guys must have seen something else.
Yes.
Like, did you have leads coming in?
Yeah.
Were there like, how did you get them ready and like feed them?
It's what I told the sales guys at the time is like, look, the good news is I have leads.
Yeah.
The bad news is I don't know how to sell them. You know, it's like the good and bad.
Yeah. We're like, I'm a sales guy. That sounds like two good news.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, well, if you have this piece, I think I can come in and make an impact.
Yeah.
Right. And I was just being transparent with them, being up front and telling them what the situation was really what brought them in. But
that's a sales guy's dream. You got a bucket of leads.
Yeah.
And you need somebody to,
right.
All day.
Yeah.
All day. Let's go.
Right.
Cause I don't know. I like that. Like you got a bucket of leads. You don't know how to sell them. You're going to give me, all I need is a phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
A phone and a merchant account.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I had a couple of offices and one of my phones was available. So they're sitting in my office doing calls.
Yeah.
You know, so you're sitting next to
Yeah.
To sell, and it is, firsthand, it's not easy.
No.
Jumping on these leads and it requires hard work. Yeah. I don't think there's an easy path.
No.
But it's very rewarding.
Yeah. It's a lot. I like it too. I mean, I'm not one of those guys who like, I love rejection or anything like it really sucks. But as a sales guy, you just know you're just so damn close. Like you're like this one. I know I'm going to get no's today, but somebody's going to say yes. And that's what I'm looking for. And I'm not the numbers guy sales trainer either. Cause I feel like if you have a good process, you can do more with the same. So it turns into a quality game. But yeah, man, I'm like, these guys are going to say no, but I got 100 leads. I was like, I can close 20 of those.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Like, let's go.
Why do you think people have a bad perception of salespeople?
Because they don't know, I made a video on this, but they don't know the difference between manipulation and persuasion. A lot of people mistake persuasion for manipulation.
Dude, that needs to be a soundbite right there. Just so freaking good.
Yeah, right.
Enrique, you gonna do that one?
We're gonna do the soundbite.
Right, that's a good one.
But that's true. That's why a lot of small business owners think that don't understand the trade. Like that's why they're scared of selling, because like, look, dude, I'm going to give you, like, my sales training is anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000, but you're going to get a way better deal than me because those 10 salespeople that I just trained are going to bring you 100K.
Yeah.
You spent less than 10% on me.
Yeah. I feel like if someone really feels good about what they're offering or their product or their service really feels good.
Yeah.
Then don't they owe it to be persuasive?
Right.
As opposed to being mamby-pamby, kind of beat around.
Maybe, kind of, would you like to maybe someday do it?
Who's going to follow that? Right. Like if you really feel passionate enough, if they want to reframe it in a different way and say they're persuasive managers or however they want to do it, if they feel really that passionate about what they do, then they owe it to people to be really a great charge in sales. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing too, is like, people try to push sales on, like, because you're also in this environment, like you're following these TikTok guys, and every once in a while, actually, funny enough, the lowest views I get on TikTok are when I like troll other salespeople. But like you follow these people who are like, you know, my sales can get you 100% closing, and that's not true. But then you get in front of this person and you're like, no, but my trainer said that I should be able to close everybody. But you know that they're not a good fit.
Right.
You know that they're not. So like you're trying to push something, like these guys try to push something that like isn't real.
Yeah.
And they waste time on, like, it's not a big deal. Like I don't close 100%. In fact, I think if you close more than 50, you have a problem.
Yeah.
You're not talking to enough people. Or you're only talking to people that you know you can close. And that's, I don't want.
I like what you said about being willing to disqualify.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I love building relationships. So if there's not quite the fit, I still I'm in that bucket of still trying to find the angle or find the right fit.
Yeah.
But you're right. If you know there's not a fit after you've really spent the time seeking to understand, and you know there's not a fit, then it's time to just move on.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean you don't build a relationship. That doesn't mean they didn't feel heard or seen. Yeah. And sometimes that's like I've had people, and this doesn't happen every time. And it's not a tactic. And this is also where I say people are like, well, then you just manipulated them. But no, if you genuinely want to help people and you genuinely want to see people do good in their life, then if I say to you, look, Sean, I think you'd be better off with this solution. I'm probably not it. Totally fine. Like, we'll go to dinner later. I've had people after that go like, hey, dude, I found a way to get it done. I want you. Like, I really appreciated that end. And it was not my intention. I had already put them in closed lost, man. Right. But and then I do that with other people and I never hear from them again.
Be willing to walk away.
Yeah, but you have to.
Yeah.
And it's, and a lot of sales trainers took that and they call it the takeaway close.
Right.
But if your intention is to only do good for you, that's manipulation. But if your intention is to do good for them, that's persuasion, and people will follow you. And small business owner, but you just get that rap. You like the Best Buy guy, the used car guy.
Well, I tell you that. So I love straight commission, and I also love affiliate marketers.
Affiliates
is like I run across small business owners all the time, and it's tough times right now. We're going through, whether or not we want to say it, we're going through a recession. So if you're going through a recession, what should you do? Like, why don't you go, like, you have a following. I know that people follow you are probably tax hive potential customers.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I go and say, hey, why don't you become an affiliate of Tax Hive? I'll become an affiliate of Dalton's sales training because my following probably has customers in there.
Yeah.
And I always ask every business owner, hey, do you have an affiliate program where I can give you an incentive back and forth to go to your following?
Yeah.
It's an absolute no-brainer way to scale because I'm only going to be paying you on what sales you bring me.
Right.
It's the same as a straight commission salesperson. You're it's not even a 1099. It's literally a partnership relationship.
Right.
And every single sale you bring to me, I pay you a percentage of.
Yeah. I like affiliate.
Yeah.
I like affiliate because then there's not like you and I both are on the same page. Like I know that you're going to give me everything I need. You know, you're going to get the deal, but we're not like the problem I've seen with like small business owners do the straight commission sales thing wrong sometimes when they're like, I don't have any leads. I don't have any, like, I don't have a phone. I don't, and then you're like, well, now I'm a partner, but there's a good way around that too. But when you do affiliate, the expectation's there.
Yeah.
And that's why I like it a lot.
That's so true. Yeah. But you hit something else. In order to have consistency, you have to have consistent leads.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to get leads in.
If you get consistent leads, then what happens with good salespeople is they get better and better at understanding the client, understanding the process. They can get multiple reps. Bringing a straight commission person in that environment, like you said, that's more of a partnership. Right. They just have to go find their own.
Yeah.
If you have any kind of lead funnel, it's just, you're going to be left behind if you don't have great funnels right now.
Right. Because
great LinkedIn.
Yes.
Yeah. Great marketing.
Yes. I was going to say, I was like salespeople, because I got brought up one time and they were like, hey, I don't have any leads or anything like that. And I was like, well, then I'll totally help you. But now it's going to be a partnership and I want equity. Yeah. I want like 30 or 40% equity. Right. And they were like, no way. And I was like, okay.
Right. Be willing to walk away.
Yeah. But it's like, if I'm going to do that much work, I want skin. I want my piece, Yeah. And that's a good way. And I've done that with other people too, where it's like, it ends up paying off because we end up, doing a lot more. But yeah, it's just about, we were talking about this earlier. It's just like you and Kevin, right? It's just aligning incentives.
Yeah.
Like where I'm incentivized and you're incentivized.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, lead flow. What do you do? And what do you do to get leads in a crazy time like this?
So Meta is big for us. So we have an incredible marketing team.
Like a lot of Facebook ads.
Tons of that. So so what I see a lot of the networkers do is I go to multiple meetings that they do and it ends up being a lot of the same people in the room. Yeah. They don't have any new lifeblood coming in.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't really have a really consistent business if you have the exact same kind of person showing up.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to have new life. So business owners, I spend a lot of time with them. They get so caught up in these meetings and everything else, but like spend time. It's the Stephen R. Covey, not urgent, but extremely important quadrant, right? Which is like, this is like going to change our business if we can figure out marketing.
Yeah.
And if you don't know it yourself, then surround yourself like the good to great. Get the right people on the bus first. I work with Tanner at Syndicate. He's the genius. Like he wakes up in the morning thinking about return on marketing and sleeps at night thinking about it. Those are the kind of people you get on your bus. Just start working with people that say, hey, how do I get a new lifeblood in here? And then bring on salespeople that can monetize.
Yeah. And this is another kind of crazy thing. Salespeople and marketers, like we think we're different, but I became that much better of a salesperson when I learned the basics of marketing. And like when marketing and sales work together. Yeah. Because like, most of the time marketing is not going to close the deal, although they will be able to. So there's layers to it, right? Like I talk about the sales funnel as the process is layered, right? So you're going to have people who self-book and self-buy. That's cool. Then if they don't do that, then we're going to go into another funnel, which is like, those first two are under marketing. We're going to nurture them. And then they're going to maybe see an email or two and then they'll buy. And then you got the third layer, which is like, if those two didn't happen, sales wouldn't be able to do their job. But if sales didn't do their job, if marketing didn't know that sales was going to do their job at the bottom of that, it wouldn't work. The first two wouldn't work.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that you have that perspective of marketing, because I think a trap salespeople fall into. If you consider you're a business owner, you're going to go spend money on Meta. Yeah. I mean, it is a fraction of of people that you're marketing to are raising their hands. So of those fraction of the fraction, then we do appointment sets from them, right? So then it's a fraction of those percentage. We'll actually do an appointment with the salesperson. And then there's a show rate issue. And so then finally they get to them. Right. And if you have the right perspective and you understand the cost and the power, like how much it took to create that person. Then you'll appreciate, as opposed to some salespeople will get in, they're like, oh, I can't believe this person's not they'll complain about the lead.
The marketing.
The marketing.
You're like, dude, this was
it's so hard. It's so hard to hand an actual lead to someone that could potentially be sold. And if you like, I love it how you like, I want to have the marketing perspective. So you have a gratitude mindset when you get that lead, that this is like, hey, I'm going to really go. I'm going to get 20 out of this 100.
And even beyond that, now my relationship with marketing isn't burned. So if I get somebody who came through, I can be like, hey, marketing, I talked to these last 4 people. You did a great job. They said these things. I think that if we switched up our copy, you know that better than me, but I think if we switched up our copy a little bit, we might be able to attract more. Right. And now you're like, boom. And now, and I'm selfish too, because I'm like, look, if I treat people the right way, and I learned this in the car business, but like, so like I would sell a car and something would go wrong, and I would buy my service techs lunch and my service writers lunch, whenever. And then one day I sold the car, it didn't come back, and I was like, oh shoot, they're going on a trip early. And I go back to my guys and I'll be like, hey, I know that I'm asking a lot right now, but I need help. And they would pull cars out of the bay, customer cars, and they would put mine in there, get it fixed. And then you just have that relationship.
So good.
Who's marketing going to go to with their golden leads?
I could tell you the salespeople that are watching your channel, if they want to possibly double their sales, just don't spend any energy on negativity in a day. Yeah. And it happens, dude. It's hard. It's a hard thing. You just got rejected, and it's hard not to complain about the next call coming up. But that next thing, it's like, I read this book years ago called The Zen Golfer. I like. Oh,
cool. Okay.
And this Zen golfer, he doesn't do anything about their swing. He follows the golfer around, these pros, and he just watches them, and he teaches them the mindset of the game. And then what he teaches them is, when you have a bad shot, you basically get that in short-term memory loss, and you tell yourself that's very unlike me. And then the next thing is you start just focusing on the very next golf shot, and you visualize an incredible shot. So many people, they'll get a rejection and be like so mad and so upset that at least, how are you going to come across on the next call? How are you going to come across on the next consultant or the next customer in person? Right. Yeah. If you can just say, hey, that was tough, but hey, this next one, I'm visualizing a great sale with this client. I'm going to love them. I'm going to seek to understand. And you can completely get rid of that and not focus on the negativity. your sales, I mean, what will your sales do?
Yeah, they'll triple.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because that's what I love too, is like, so one of my things is about scripts, right? And some people like them, some people don't. But the reality is your favorite movie had a script and your favorite quarterback has a script right on his arm.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Like the difference between a good quarterback and a bad one is how well they understand what's happening and when to use the scripts and not. So, but like,
it's good.
But here's the thing. I don't think there's one script.
That's another, by the way, you got that?
Right. That's right. But there's not one script because it's just like golfing, right? Like there's not one way to swing. Like,
yeah.
If I tried to swing like Tiger, it probably wouldn't work. Because it's not about the swing.
Yeah. No,
it's about how you.
It's so true. Having a strategy going into it and understanding, like I talked to a sales trainer the other day and he said, you have to just listen to people. And I think that's true, obviously, to a degree, but you also have to direct where you want them to go. You can't just listen the whole time and not have like,
that's right.
The best salespeople I've seen is follow a system. They have a strategy. They know that they're going to try to take the client from here to there. They're going to help the client understand and make that journey themselves. They're not pushing it through, but they are taking them on a linear flow. It's not just, I'm going to listen. It's like, oh, when I was 12 years old, you like go way back and you end up spending the whole time just talking about that. You have to have a strategy. Yeah. I love your example of having your play. Plays on your sleeve on where you're going to go. Right.
Because we have a play, but then I get on a call, a quarterback steps up to the line and, Ray Lewis is right in front of him.
Yeah.
Right? Probably shouldn't run up the middle.
Yeah. Right. We're
going to call it.
Yeah.
But that you need to call it and then, and whatever happens after that happens. But I think that's the other thing is like, I don't want to get into sales. So I don't want to sound robotic. I was like, well, you only sound like a robot if you think you sound like a robot.
Yeah. It's all mindset.
It really is.
I had years ago, there was a guy who's a good friend of mine, best salesperson on the planet Earth.
Amen.
And so everyone in the group's like, hey, let's script him out, figure out exactly what he's saying so we can copy it.
Yeah.
And we did that. We recorded him and he was cool with it. He's he's this dynamite guy.
Yeah.
So we record it and we give it to everyone and they just could not compete still.
Yeah.
And so I went to him, his name is Mitch. And I was like, Mitch, how can they not sell like you? Yeah. We copied you.
Yeah.
Verbatim. Literally these guys would say your same exact presentation. And he said, it's because they're trying to break through that wall with little pins. So there's no power behind their words. I'm taking a javelin and I'm hitting that wall and I'm busting it open because of my energy and my excitement for what I believe in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Confidence.
Yeah.
You can say anything you can get away with almost anything with confidence.
Yeah.
That's why some of these bad scripts work.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like Grant Cardone's Closer Survival Guide. You got guys who just live by that and they sell $100 million or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they it really doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
If somebody can feel it and believe you say whatever you want.
I talked to, Bridger Pennington?
No.
Bridger Pennington, he runs Fund Live Launch. It's a massive, it teaches people how to create funds.
Okay.
Anyways, he went to Russell. He's speaking on Russell's event coming up.
Oh, very cool.
And he took a sales speaker training from Russell's group. And it was like something rock star training or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said that the example they shared was there was this village in Africa that's surrounded by wild cats, like crazy cats that eat people. And there was no incident of these cats attacking the villagers, the people in this village. So they went in and studied the people and they found that they walked different than other people. They walked with a certain level of confidence and energy. And they came across as a predator.
Oh, yeah.
To another predator, and the predators just don't mess with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I thought about that a lot. Even the way they stepped was with more power. They were just confident everywhere. This is their home. This is what they do.
Yeah.
And they just walk with power.
That. Yeah. It gives me chills thinking about that because like I love rap and hip hop. Because one of the things that I love about it is for me, it just gives me a bunch of like, I don't care where I'm at, what I'm doing. I don't care if I have negative $4,000 in my bank account.
Yeah.
If you give me a lead, I will sell it. I don't care what happens. and you can throw any objection you want at me, and I've heard it before. I'll be fine. Like there's like I say this and people think I'm way too cocky, but I go like, look, there's no objection that you could tell me right now that I wouldn't be able to handle, and not because I just heard them a million times. Like those guys have lived around cats,
right?
I just like, and my sales approach is different because when I get those, I tend not to get a bunch because I think you can handle. That's a good marketing. That's one I learned from marketing.
Right,
just handle the objection up front.
Yeah,
like.
It's something Brad Lee does. I was like, Brad, because he spends dropping bombs all day long.
Yeah.
And he's busy. And I said, what do you do to reset? Because sometimes you get caught in the grind and you're tired. And he listens to this hard rap stuff that is like high energy rap.
Yeah.
Like the Beast song. He listens to that. So he's like, when I'm down, like you said, it's like for sales, you got to check yourself.
Yeah.
I had a great salesperson that was like, where am I at on the scale right this minute before this call? Am I at 3? If you watch Tony Robbins and his warm up before he speaks, he brings in a trampoline backstage and he's like 7 feet tall. I swear the guy's huge.
He is so massive.
If you watch him backstage before he touches that stage, he is so high charged.
Yeah.
So he's jumping on the trampoline, getting ready. He's running back and forth. He's doing his claps behind stage.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to hit stage out there with a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to hit it on 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, what's your reset? If it's like, hey, I want to listen to this song and get fired up before the next one. I want to get up, walk around a little bit, get the energy charge. I need to be ready so I can hit this next call. But I see this low energy sometimes. It's like, would you buy from me if I was like,
that's right.
So anyways, what's,
Yeah.
It's like, you want to hit this thing with great energy.
Yes.
Right. And so it's what you do.
And I think, talking about small business owners and selling, so many people like, are just in the old, like not, and by the way, Joe Verde, those other OG sales trainer guys, like they all had their place. And I think that they did a really good job. But one of the things that I disagreed with them on was like, matching like people's energy. Like they would be like, match your client or whatever. Right. And I was like, no way, man. Like I'm happy. I want to be here. Like if you're not having a good day, like hopefully you see me and you have a better one.
Yeah. Don't mirror their energy.
You stay you bring people up. Don't meet them where they're like,
right. Yeah. It's a great
with point. Energy point. Yeah. Don't meet them where they're at with their energy. You want to bring them up. You want to be happy. Like when I was when I did, it was texting, but whenever I worked for the crisis text line. And whenever we had a hard conversation, they told us to just like obviously relate or whatever we could do, be empathetic. But then don't drop with them. Like, oh, my day's going, but I know your day's my day's going bad. You know what I mean? Like bring them up. Yeah. Bring them up.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't pull someone up if you're at their same level, right?
Yeah. But it's just crazy. So wow. That's, so now you got TaxIve and you got, tell me about your mastermind a little bit.
So I do this, I'm a big believer. So that it was the second thing I did in building relationships. So I think there's a few quick things you can do. Like everyone always asks me, how do I build my network?
Yeah.
The fact is before you even do that, it does take work. Just to be clear, you have to show up. And your feet have to be in the room and your heart has to be in the room. You have to actually be there and be present if you're going to make it work. If not, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So if you want to do it, then start with your phone. I mean, people have there's seeds in your phone. Do you think a percentage of the people in your phone right now would buy your sales training and would qualify?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone does. So if I've looked at your phone, you probably have hundreds of contacts you've made already. And in that contact, you got their information. And I'm like, you got diamonds in your backyard.
Yeah.
So start with 3 to 5 texts a day. I make a list of people I need to contact. My first list I came up with was 400 people.
Wow.
And I just went right down. I did 10 a day. So 10 a day, Monday through Friday. You'd be shocked. If you just send someone a text you haven't talked to that you need to talk to that could be a good fit, either a fresh perspective, you're going through stuff, you want to talk to someone, or, hey, this is a potential fit for me. Make a list of those people and just go right down the list. You already have leads. You have leads in your phone. So start there. Start with your phone and make a commitment if you're watching this, 3 to 5 a day, whatever that commitment is. I mean, you do the math over a year.
Yeah.
300 times the 5, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so now you're like 1,500, 2,000 people you're contacting over a year.
Yeah. And what's funny about that is I learned that from, I love that because I love that your phone's in your backyard. Well, that was a car thing. So before I would hire a car salesman, we would do the first interview, we do the second interview. On the third interview, I'd give them a list. We'd hire them and I'd give them a sheet of like a lined piece of paper. And I was like, I need you, before you come on your first day, you need to fill this out 100. You need to put their phone number or however you're going to contact them.
There you go.
On Facebook. It's like, but you need to have it done. And if they didn't, I would make them sit. They'd be like, and fill it out.
You got to do it.
Because
I love
like
that.
So many people, like you said, like so many times this would happen in a car sale where like I'd hire a new salesperson and then a week later on that salesperson's Facebook, their best friend on Facebook just bought a car.
There you go. That's
like, it. Dude, come on.
Right there.
All you had to do is tell somebody, man.
And people always like, I give this training to a bunch of salespeople that do door-to-door windows.
Oh, I love, yeah. Okay.
And Kyle Deaver is a good buddy of mine, and he's up there running it. But these people, I did a Q&A, and they're like, "What do we say?" Like I was kind of like high level, like it's pretty natural. You just talk, but just think in your mind, seek to understand.
Yeah.
You don't need to go say and launch into a presentation.
Yeah.
Just get to know the person a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you'll find out what fits for them. And then you'd be like, while they're talking, you're like, oh my gosh, this product of mine or service can help support their vision.
Yeah. You're like, damn, this is crazy.
So seek to understand.
100%.
So that's number one. Number two is referrals.
Yes.
Dude, referrals, bro.
Yes.
They're so valuable.
Yeah.
And people botch it up all the time. I mean, crazy. Like
that's right.
It's some of the best compliment you can give. If I say I have this cool guy, Enrique, he should be on this side of this screen.
Right, yeah.
Like this guy. So I was like, hey, I have a relationship I built with Enrique, and I think he's got a certain thing that fits well with you. It's the best compliment I can give someone to refer him to you. That means I'm willing to turn a relationship I've built for years over to someone. And I've seen guys either not respond, say the name wrong, and don't do anything. The most common thing I have is say, hey, great to meet you.
Yeah.
Like,
come on.
So what you do is, hey, thank you so much for the intro. I appreciate your friendship. Enrique or Dalton, hey, great to connect with you. What's your schedule? I'd love to go to lunch, or I'd love to go catch a Zoom. What's your schedule in the next 3 days?
Yeah.
So I leave with an appointment on every single one.
Right.
Now, if I'm referring to that situation and I see that someone I referred to set up an appointment with or went to lunch with my friend who I had a relationship for years and did a Zoom and followed up, and then I report back to the person who gave me the referral, say, dude, hey, I met with Dalton. It was an awesome lunch. We're going to actually do XYZ together.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, why don't I refer more friends to this guy?
Yeah. You take care of what you have. Yeah.
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 So treat them like gold.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing. Some people are like, I don't respond for a day. Is that a good strategy? I'm like,
no. Get your ass on.
Get on that. It's like, dude, because you feel stupid if I introduce you to Enrique and you don't respond. I feel dumb. Like,
you're like, oh yeah, sorry, Enrique. Sorry.
I didn't. He ghosted me after I texted.
Oh my goodness.
So I try to get those immediately. It's not always possible, but I'm always like, oh, thank you so much. Hey, great to connect with you. Yeah. What's your schedule for the next week?
Yeah.
Do you have time open on Wednesday? You're local. Let's go you come over for lunch.
Yeah.
Right. So referrals, there's gold in those referrals. I mean, just so much potential, even affiliate potential, sales potential, you name it.
Yeah. Well, and again, like, the Zen golfer thing, and back to what I was saying, if you genuinely want to take care of your friend who gave you the referral and the referral, like, a lot of things happen when you just put that energy out there, because it's kind of this dichotomy of like, I want to be a good person just to be a good person, but I know that if I am, I'm going to get something back.
Right.
You don't want to lead with that, but know that if I treat people the right way, this is going to come back to me. Like, one of my favorite quotes, you watch UFC?
Oh, of course. Okay. I was just at the fights on Saturday.
Okay. So Dustin Poirier fought.
Oh yeah.
He actually, Dustin Poirier actually gave me one of the best quotes that I live by. If I got another tattoo, I'd probably get it tattooed on me because he said after he fought Conor McGregor and Conor McGregor broke his leg.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So Dustin got up with Joe Rogan or whoever interviewed him. And he was like, karma's not a bitch. She's a mirror. I don't know where he got that from.
It's good.
I don't know whose that is, but I heard it from Dustin.
That's good.
And I was like,
be a good tattoo.
But that's what I live by.
Yeah.
So like, if I treat Sean right, it really doesn't matter if you never give me a referral, it's fine.
That's right. Yeah.
Because karma's not a bitch. She's a mirror.
Right.
Karma doesn't need people to be mean to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get the most common feedback I hear in networking, which I think is flawed, is this. I think it's flawed to a degree. Don't be transactional.
Okay.
That's the most common thing I hear all the time. Don't be transactional, which I believe in actually. Right. You don't need to go around selling everyone.
Yeah.
I think you need to go around seeking and understand and seeing but if there is a potential transaction, then you should absolutely take advantage of a transaction.
Right. Yeah.
Because it will benefit that person and it'll benefit yourself and you'll build a deeper relationship with them. That's the true thing. Otherwise, it's just it's a great friendship and it's a great perspective, which like you said, I have lots of friends there's not an alignment, but I get really good information and I can bounce things off of them.
Yeah.
And those are so important for just the training and mindset.
Yeah.
But the ones that have a potential customer that is the customer I'm looking for.
Why wouldn't you try it? Yeah. That's why one of my favorite things, one of my most controversial ones is like relationship selling is dead because if you go into a sale, like if I'm at Tax Hive and we get one of your leads, you don't want any of your guys to be relationship led.
Yeah.
I need that. I need a deal.
Right.
Right.
That's now it's in the same vein as it's
like,
right.
Yeah. It's like, don't treat them like shit.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
For
like
sure.
All of these things. But dude, we got you. Like the only way that they're ever going to see the true value of this relationship is if they buy.
Yeah. But then you have a customer
and then you have a customer,
and they're awesome
and,
people.
And you're going to treat them well.
Yeah. And you have a lifetime value of that customer that will be with you forever.
Yeah. But I would never tell a group of salespeople like, just get to know them.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
You got to call, bro.
Yeah.
Like treat them respectfully, be empathetic, love them, genuinely want to help them. And then close a deal, dog.
I did this. I was a guest judge on David Meltzer. He's got this TV show.
Yes.
2-minute drill, whatever. But he was doing this pitch contest, kind of like a Shark Tank quasi. But the whole thing was teaching them how to pitch. So they had these entrepreneurs, really cool people. The most consistent feedback being a judge on the panel is they don't ask for anything. They get up in front of these judges that could potentially fund their business. And they talk about how cool things are. They don't ask. They don't ask for the money.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? They don't say it.
You forgot.
Yeah.
The whole reason
they just get up there and they're like, "Okay, I'm done." And we're
Thank you.
"All right, what do you want?" Like, you have an opportunity here in front of these people, and you don't even tell them what you are looking for.
Right. It should be the first thing you say.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's Shark Tank School. I'm looking for blank for blank.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Yeah. They just be really clear in your intentions. And if there's a fit, that'll be the right fit.
Right. And I think that's where people also, I just keep going back to this. Why do salespeople have a bad rap? Because and why do people hate learning sales? I think that's part of it. And I just realized it now, but because you mentioned it, salespeople aren't clear. I mean, I like Sandler training has a lot of good things. One of them is, I don't like how they do the upfront contract, but I like that the principle behind it, which is like, hey, look, I'm a salesperson. I think you're a good fit. That's what this conversation's about.
Right. Yeah.
If we end up being friends, love it.
Yeah.
But I want to know if we can do business together.
Yeah.
And most people respect that. It's when you try to hide it and
kind of beat around the bush. And
I actually want to
low confidence.
I want to try to sell you today, Sean. Would that be cool?
Yeah. We feel like this is a great fit. Let's see if we can align. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer. So referrals number 2.
Cool. All right, cool.
Number 3 is there's live events going on. Coins and Cars. Have you heard of Coins and Cars?
Yes.
It's a great one. So that's Bridger's event with Dan.
Okay.
Awesome event.
Yeah.
You can meet tons of people.
Right.
It's like kind of a no-brainer. So, and it's uncomfortable for a lot of people. They want to sit in the corner and kind of and I get that.
Yeah.
But go to live events and get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And go work the room.
Be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just have a strategy going in. But live events are happening every single week.
Yeah.
I do 2 or 3 myself a week. Live events. So you saw, I just showed you a video one I did at Bucked Up last week.
Yeah.
Right? Those are things I do. And you can walk away with 30 contacts, one event or 20 or 10.
I'm going to add that to my scholarship. So I do a scholarship in my high school.
Yeah.
An entrepreneur scholarship.
Yeah.
And I do the first week is the rejection challenge. Then it's the bigger, better challenge. It's the $5 challenge. And I'm going to add, go and get me 10 names, go to a party or go to an event and get me 10 names of people that you didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to add that.
So let me tell you how the wrong way to do it.
Okay.
This is the most common way, by the way.
Yeah.
I go to an event and I might talk to you, might not. But if I do talk to you and I say, it's rare that anyone who says, hey, Dalton, I'd love to get your number. That's rare.
Yeah. Right.
It's especially even more rare if I leave with an appointment.
Right.
And you would think, hey, what's the whole purpose of you going to this event?
Yeah.
I want to get contacts, potentially sell, affiliate potentials.
Yeah.
And 99%, I'll say 95% plus leave there and they don't have that set in stone. And I've done it myself. So like for you, if I went up and got your number, that's rare.
Yeah.
Then I get home, I feel stupid. Hey, Dalton, I met you the other day. We should chat, right? I don't even want to do it. So then I just end up not doing it. That's why a lot of contacts are just, there's no one's fertilized them. No one's nourished them. So when I'm there, I'm like, hey, Dalton, I'd like to understand your business better.
Yeah.
How's your schedule? And I know there's a really good alignment. I'll do a lunch. So how's your schedule next week on Wednesday? I'd love to grab lunch and just understand what you're doing better.
Yeah.
I'm like 100% close rate on that. 100%. And no one does that.
Right. It's these, I want to do a video on this, by the way, before we go, but I want to do a video on this one day. It's in my phone, but we'll do it. Creative prospecting. Like it's good. Instead of like cold call, cold email, but like, go to a live event, go to lunch. Like, I think the coolest thing I did working for Dirty Dough was realized how many people would just talk over a cookie.
Yeah. It's great.
I'm going to, if I ever do, and then I had a live podcast event. My wife made cookies.
It's awesome.
After the event, we all talked for like an hour over cookies. Yeah. And it's like, dude, and I have a really good friend who he has a B2B company where you can go online, buy cookies and send them as a prospecting tool. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it's a little cookie. I mean, most people will eat a small one, like the ones that Dirty Dough have, right? They'll eat a little tiny one and they'll talk to you. Right. It's amazing. What the fuck? Like, let's do it. Yeah, like, you should do it. I would bring cookie. I'll never have an event without cookies because creative power prospecting. Yeah. That'd be your next book. Yeah. Oh, actually, that'd be really cool. Actually, creative prospecting. You got that, Enrique? Dude. Well, Sean, dude, I really appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much. Before I let you go, where can everybody find TaxHive? How can they get involved? TaxHive.com. We give tons of value on that. So if you go check out the value, it's amazing. We'd love to have you as a customer. There you go. Yeah. And then I'm all over social media. So Finnegan Sean is my name. Pretty much everywhere, Sean Finnegan. So cool. Love to connect with you as well. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Dalton.